And hello everybody, Terrible Shoes back at it again. You might notice I look a little different today. That's because I donated all my hair to the Children's Hospital. I think it's actually a really nice thing to do, and I think more people should do it. Now that just really to explain away that little part of the video, in case anyone was curious. But I have a much different topic to talk about today, obviously, and that is the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon series. Actually, it's something I've been a huge fan of since the very first one back on the Game Boy Advance and DS. I think it is an incredibly charming series. I love the fact that it just thinks outside the box compared to how Pokemon did at the time. And even now, it's still relatively unique to the franchise. But I feel like this is a piece of the franchise, and I'm sure a lot of people will agree with me here. This is unfortunately a part of the Pokemon franchise that is severely underlooked and does not receive anywhere near as much attention as it should. We know this because A, people have been begging for a remake of Explorer of Sky for forever, and B, because I feel like online it is the most requested side game in the series to make a return. That and Pokemon Ranger I've seen a lot of as well, and for some reason Pokepark. I played those as well when I was a little bit younger, and I thought they were okay. Nothing super crazy, but I get why people would want them. However, when it comes to the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon franchise, I think that there is a form of media it could take on that would be really, really cool and would work really, really well with the thematics of the series. And I think it would make a fantastic tabletop RPG in the style of like D&D or Cyberpunk. I'm going to explain a little bit into this. It's not like this super drawn out concept. Couldn't see the light on there. Sorry, I wanted to make sure it was on. It's not like a super drawn out concept. It's just a few parallels to D&D that I think would work very well. For instance, you are a way that you can do it is, since technically you answer a little survey in the beginning and then your chosen your Pokemon is given to you based off of your answers that you become. I think that could be a very interesting mechanic that based off of a set of randomized questions. I'm assuming that a dice roll would play a part here. You would answer a bunch of randomized questions based off of what your dice rolls would be. Like, for instance, if you roll like this number, you got to go to this question and answer it, and it would be multiple choice. And based off your answers tallied up at the end, you would get a Pokemon. Obviously, this is too easy to cheese. I get it. Just a concept in theory, because you can technically cheese the actual game itself and get whoever you want as well. Otherwise, I think it would just be a very interesting thing, and I think it would definitely serve in like that type of world very well. For instance, the Pokemon are already like a little party from like a JRPG, for instance, or a tabletop RPG, for instance. You can already form a little party in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon to go out and explore randomized dungeons. Once again, completely works well with the thematics because the Dungeon Master is the one who creates the dungeons in D&D, obviously, unless they're being based off of an adventure book. You get it. But it works very well because it could mean there could be infinite gameplay like Dungeons and Dragons as well. And I guess technically you could keep revisiting the same dungeons in the game as well because they'll be different every time you go in. And that is the really cool thing about roguelite type games or games with randomized dungeons. The Mystery Dungeon, I know obviously the Mystery Dungeon thematic was around long before the roguelite concept, but you get what I'm saying. Again, I think that it's just something that meshes incredibly well with D&D, and I think it would be a lot of fun to explore. Obviously, as you go around the dungeon, you would roll for encounters, you would fight Pokemon just like how you would in a regular D&D game, and once again, I know I've said this a million times, but I feel like the tiling system in the Mystery Dungeon games, the grid, works very similarly to D&D and most other tabletop RPGs that utilize that type of movement system. So I think, once again, the combat would fit perfectly for this type of game. Again, no super big concepts drawn out. I don't really know how you would obviously you would balance stats the same way you do in D&D, which would make it a little unrealistic, seeing perhaps if you got something that should technically be really strong in one stat but you roll a really bad number, and so now you've got a Froakie with the worst stats of all time, or a Pikachu with the worst stats of all time, slowest Pikachu on Earth, basically. It's going to happen, and I think that could be a lot of fun. The Pokemon talked in it again. I think I said that earlier. I'm having a brain blank. Sorry, it's because it's all the weight off my head here. Is causing, like, the neurons to fire a little faster. I know that don't make no sense. I'm just joking, but you get what I'm saying. Anyway, I think Mystery Dungeon would make for a fantastic tabletop RPG. I don't know the specifics on how to create a full-fledged RPG myself. I've done a lot of dungeon mastering when I played D&D in the past, so that's actually what kind of sparked this idea in my head, how cool it would be to create these huge, huge dungeons for your friends role-playing as the Pokemon to explore. Again, and in fact, it doesn't even have to be overly complex, because I feel like as the years are going on, the stat system in Pokemon is becoming a lot more simplistic and much easier to obtain competitive level Pokemon in game and such. And I think that they can definitely come up with some type of simplified statistic system that would apply to this type of game as well. I think that would be really fun. I think it would be a lot of fun. And I think it would be even cooler if they had every single Pokemon built into it. I doubt that would be the case. You'd probably have to be just like D&D. You'd have to kind of toy with some stats if you're not happy with what the book says. But that's really that. But then again, that's also the fun of a tabletop RPG. That's all I really have to say here. I had a video at some point where I talked about how I think Pokemon should dive deeper into more board games and such like that, because we've only had a couple over the years, and not counting things like Monopoly, you have very, very few unique ones out there. And I think that this would be an incredibly unique and an incredible step in the right direction for not only the Pokemon Company, but for them just for as a franchise to leap back into the world of tabletop games and such. Now, will this ever happen? I'm going to be completely real and honest with you. I'm going to go with a big fat no. I feel like I hate to say this. I feel like it would take somebody who is really, really famous in the Pokemon community bringing this up in order for it to happen. Other than that, I don't think they would ever listen to the regular fans like us, because let's be real, the Pokemon Company does not like to listen to its fans. It loves to do the polar opposite, in fact, sometimes. And I don't get it, but so I'm sure somebody else out there does. Anyway, I'm just dragging on for too long. That's all I really had to say here today. Thanks for listening to the video. Thanks for watching me. Let me know down below in the comments what your opinion is. Is there any type of like Pokemon cross franchise or anything you'd like to see? Like, is there another genre of tabletop game, maybe not directly Mystery Dungeon related, like that you'd like to see Pokemon dive into? I know there's a bunch of different forms of tabletop games as well. They don't have to all be RPGs. So let me know about that down in the comments below, or how realistic, if you think there's any realistic chance of this ever happening. Other than that, I'm Terrible Shoes. Thanks for watching me today. Hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. I'll catch you guys in the next video. It's going to take a little while to get used to this myself, so yeah, jump scare, I guess. All right, see you around.